One of the things that people like to do always with other people is attach labels to them. There are labels attached to athletes, there are labels attached to football players. Do you ever chafe against that?
Oh, all the time. And this is the body of my work right now, is pushing back and trying to flip their script on that stereotype of the football player as, perpetrators of sexual violence. So when I came in, I didn't have really any preconceived notions about consent or sexual violence on college campuses that were outside the mainstream media. And some of the seniors on the team my first year, the Forrest Redlands, the Trey Noshinskis, they organized a Green Dot bystander training right away in preseason. So I hadn't even become a McAllister student yet. It was in early August that we took this 3-hour training, learning about consent, learning about sexual violence, learning about what it means to be a bystander. And that just changed my outlook on everything for the rest of my college career. There was a certain point, my first year here, that I thought, why didn't I know this in high school? Like, as a football player, shouldn't this be essential to my identity, is standing up to sexual violence and being an active bystander? So I created a program to teach consent and sexual violence prevention techniques to high schoolers, high school athletics and football teams in specific, so that the creation of that identity starts a little sooner before they get to college.
Talk about how that program works. What do you do?
Talking about sexual violence with football players is not just about sexual violence. It's about gender, it's about race, it's about class. It's an all-encompassing issue, really. So where do you start,
Right.
is the question. It's very difficult. And so the approach I took was to be vulnerable. I was in a unique position of having kind of a peer-to-peer relationship with some of the kids. Me and 2 other football players went to St. Paul Central to pilot this program in the fall. And we had a unique opportunity to create an atmosphere that was just football players talking about an issue, which is really special. So the first thing we did was tell a story of sexual assault that we witnessed at McAllister, and how no one did anything to stop it. And it grabbed the attention of the room. It created a space for us to talk about these issues as football players and as men. And I think that was really effective, because after that, these high school kids, why should they care about this issue? Why should they sit and listen to us? They cared. They engaged with the issue. Once we kind of caught their attention, you have to lay down some definitions and some statistics about sexual assault and sexual violence. And there are some really jarring statistics out there, like 1 in 5 women experience sexual assault in their lifetime, and things like that. That also grab their attention. And then we do a long section on consent, because it's a really tricky concept. And it's particularly tricky talking to high school players, because if you present consent in the wrong way, then it makes it sound like, oh, you're not allowed to do anything anymore. And that's a snap judgment reaction that young men will take away when first hearing about consent.